I can say big loud things.
Boy, what the hell? God dang it, Bobby.
We're gonna do Overbold a second time. I'll frickin' do it again. Because we wanna get the cherry. That's what all the cool kids are doing. All the cool kids, they sit around and they eat their cherries. Just like that president who tried to eat some absurd amount of cherries in a big glass of milk and he died like 3 days later. Remember that? Well, I guess that happened in the 1800s. But anyway, the cherry, yeah, that's like the extra hard path you see. I'm gonna prove to the internet that I am in fact very good at this game. All 2 of my viewers are gonna be floored. So the goal to actually get the cherry that I keep referencing is we have to get to the final stage with $1,300 in the bank that we just can't spend. Can't spend it on upgrades or anything, it's just gotta sit there. And as a result, we've gotta take these bets much more aggressively. But how bad can it be? I saw Northern Lion do this. If Canadians can do this, it can't be that bad. So generally my upgrade path is to go about 1, 5, 6, 7, just kinda iterate so that each one, is $100 more than the one before it. Just doing 5 is enough to get you the health, and then the 7 that comes later will get us most of the gun upgrades. And that's just how you do it. So the upgrade that causes your gun to push the enemies farther back is very underrated, by the way. My first couple runs I kinda skipped it, but then at some point the light bulb went off when I figured out how useful it would be against those pumpkin enemies that explode on contact. We'll see those later. Because you certainly don't want to be caught in a situation where he's flying towards you and you're shooting at him and it just lines up that, he blows up on contact as he's moving towards you and he blows up in your face. So, with the pushback upgrade, you can largely prevent that from happening, so it's much safer to dispatch of the pumpkin enemies and you don't have to constantly reposition yourself. Very valuable tool to have. That's my advice to you, the dirty, ignorant viewer watching this. That is my advice to you. Anyway, so in the past I've made comparisons between this and The Binding of Isaac, but I think another comparison that's equally valid would be Smash TV, if you guys remember that one. Remember that one, Smash TV for SNES? It was like a hyper-violent televised game show that took place in the future in the far-off year of 1999, which really only would have been 7 years in the future when the game came out. Anyway, the premise was people could compete on the game show and you could win cash prizes and luxury items, like a VCR perhaps, and all you had to do was gun down a bunch of people. Too bad the future didn't actually turn out that way. I'd watch that on TV. Just imagine you turn on like NBC in the late 90s or something and, they got like an American Warrior style game show and there's real death on the screen and the guy gets a VCR at the end, so it's okay. Yeah, unfortunately the future is nowhere near that cool. And remember the announcer says, "I'd buy that for $1. So much cool stuff when was in that game. They had that one boss who was it was just like the top half of a really muscular man, and like from below the waist he just had like tank treads, and why couldn't they put that in a game show? I think NBC could, or CBS or whoever could scrounge up the budget to put together a horrific human experiment to make a man who's just a top half with wheels on the bottom and people have to fight him. I guess they'd also have to dedicate some R&D to how to make a man bulletproof too, but details, Details. I'd buy that for $1. So, try not to get pinned down, sort of like what's happening to me right now. I can shoot my way out of it, but it almost cost me the run, you see. You want to have a sort of a buffer zone around your character so that this doesn't happen. So anyway, here's just a random thought I've been stewing on for a while now. You remember that Simpsons episode where Homer went up on stage with the exotic dancers? I almost called them the erotic dancers. Anyway, remember that he went up on stage with the dancing ladies, and it was like a huge scandal. And Marge was furious with him, and everybody in town started making fun of him. It was like this huge embarrassment. Like even a little boy at the Quickie Mart was making fun of him. He was saying, "Hey, mister." Yeah, remember that? I was just thinking, would that even be considered scandalous if that were to happen today? Okay, we gotta start making some enormous bets in order to make up the money. We can do a 7 now, and then I guess we gotta do like a 9 after that, maybe. If we want to still buy stuff. Anyway, would that even be considered scandalous, just like dancing with a bunch of pretty ladies on TV? I feel like in modern times, with all the hardship everybody's been through over the past 20 years with 9/11 and COVID and everything, I feel like people would just kinda ignore that, Life's so hard. If you want to dance on stage with pretty ladies, well, go ahead and do it. That's not the worst thing ever. I'm picturing like the script for this episode if this scene were to take place today. I feel like Marge would be watching this all play out on the news, and instead of getting angry, she'd probably say like, "Well, I'm just..." That's not what Marge sounds like. She'd probably say like, "Well, I'm just..." Fuck, that's not a voice I can do. Anyway, Marge would watch it on the news and probably think, "Well, I'm just glad it's with women, to be honest." Oh, fuck. Okay, we gotta do 9 at a time if we want all the money. 'Cause we gotta have 1,300 by the end, you see. But thankfully, I'm equipped to handle that. That's the key to beating this, you see. The fights might get harder, but our upgrades get better every round as well, so objectively, the challenge is about the same each round, so long as you're managing your upgrades in a way so that the upgrades are as good as the fights are as bad. Am I making any sense here? I feel like that Family Guy cutaway about that really bad football announcer is like, as good as the team was in the first half, that is how bad they are in the second half. Okay, just one more guy to clear out. Yep, there we go. And we're on to the big show. The ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. We gotta get that cherry. Jerry. Come on, Jerry. You gotta be a cool gamer, Jerry. Show the internet how good you are at UFO 50, Jerry. Wouldn't that be funny if they did an episode where Kramer became a gamer and he just like sat in a chair with an Xbox controller all day and he put on 200 pounds and, "You don't understand, Jerry. It's the 21st century, Jerry. It's the new way to live." I would watch that. Rest in peace, Michael Richards. I mean, whoa, that was close. I mean, he's still alive, but I don't know what year you're watching this episode in. Kramer's like 72 these days. You might be watching this 20 years from now when circumstances are different, so I gotta get ahead of the game, Here, let's try to expand upon this episode idea of Kramer becomes a gamer. I'm gonna write the episode, or at least part of it right now. So, Kramer is leaned back in his gamer chair, currently weighing about 350 pounds and he's in Jerry's apartment, by the way. And so, there's a delivery at the door. He says, "Hey, Jerry, can you get my package for me, Jerry?" And so, Jerry gets the package, and he opens it up. He says, "Kramer, what is this?" And he says, "It's Belle Delphine's bathwater, Jerry. It's what all the gamers are doing these days." And so Jerry's just completely disgusted. And so he says, "Kramer, you You can't do this, Kramer. And so Jerry throws the bathwater out the window, and then right as he throws it out the... Oh, careful. And right as he throws it out the window from down below, you hear... Gah! And then it shows Newman, who is he's on the ground delivering packages, you know, because his job's a mailman, and he's all wet, and he says, What is this? This is disgusting. This is utterly foul. And I guess the boss was so weirded out by my story that he just blew up. There you go. We got the cherry right there in the corner of the screen. With prize money in hand, Alfonso Ribeiro bought a brand new boatmobile. I can't believe this all got filmed. This was so hard to do, you wouldn't even believe it. And look, you get new text at the end too, for the cherry version. They even thought of that. I wonder if anybody even noticed the first time when I played this, when I replaced the end credits of this game with the end credits for My Little Pony. That is a good question. All my episodes have funny little edits that nobody ever really seems to acknowledge. But, I guess I don't have anything to follow up on that. Watching these credits go by, I'm just thinking about On Whose Line when Ryan and Colin read all the names out loud at the end in funny ways. And
okay, we just got word from Drew Carey that Dan Patterson is going much too fast on the 405.
That's right. Mark told us that he's going about 30
apparently they're right
miles an
outside of the
hour.
studio now.
He
Here
hit
comes
Danny
Colin
Green
Mockery.
right outside the
Brady's
airport.
driving the main car.
Oh my God!
Oh, I hope they don't crash into Drew Carey.
I know. Oh, they're pulling
awful
him
close
over.
to Drew Carey.
Keith
Oh, this could be
Richmond says
fatal.
that it's a
Oh
fatal.
my God, they run into Drew Carey. Oh, Mockery's
no.
running
It's
the
a
curve.
sad, sad scene.
Oh,
You know,
thank
they're
God
pulling
Brad
the car
Service
over.
weren't here to see this.
Yeah, Chris Dale's putting.
And there you go, we've got the cherry. Living proof right here on this video. Quite possibly one of the hardest things I've done in a very long time.